Okay, so like I said before, we're going to make the shoulder strap parts so that it'll join our front to our back, and you want them to be quite wide. You also need this piece of cardboard. This particular one needs to be quite long because it has to join from your chest to your back, and you have to take into account the thickness of your body. Okay, now if you've got if someone at home has a tailor's tape measure, the flexible one that they use for sewing and stuff, that's going to come in handy, because the normal tape measure isn't really designed to do that. It's more for like straight things and flat things, not so much curves. You can get it to curve, but you'll need someone's help. So the best thing to do is just find the longest piece of cardboard you can. I was really lucky because I had a giant refrigerator box, which is what most of my stuff has come off. So what I've done is I've cut out a section and I measured it, and it's about 38 wide. You can't quite see, but I do have some markers marked in there, about 18 centimeters. When I say 36, sorry, yeah, 36, I mean centimeters. So all my measurements so far have been in centimeters. Sorry, it's poor teaching, Mr. Ashley. I haven't given you any unit of measurement. So this is about 18 centimeters apart. Okay, sorry, in the middle to separate it. Okay, and I'm just going to loosely cut it out. I'm not going to give it any shape at the moment. I just want to cut it, and then what I'm going to do is it's going to go across my shoulder, and then I'm going to see where it joins onto the chest and at the back. Okay, now for this one I am going to use the corrugation to my advantage. So I'm going to bend it along the corrugation instead of against it, like I did with the chest plate. Okay, so first things first is we just need to cut it out. Might as well follow along for this one. Come along for the ride. So as you can see, I'm not using much of a ruler. You can use a ruler. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a ruler. The good thing about cardboard boxes, though, is they generally, you follow the curves of the where it's folded in the box, or you can follow one of the corrugations, which is always straight. So I generally just eyeball it. Now for this, I've got the red side, so I'm going to go again with the brown side to keep it all the same color for now. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a quick bend. See, it's much easier this one because I'm going, like I said, I'm using the corrugations to my advantage. Okay, and all this is going to do is this is going to just go over my shoulder. Now, if I was to make this just for fun, and I've made these just for fun before, I would use zip ties because it's so much easier. You just go thread, zip, and it's tight. But because of the purposes of our topic, we can only use string. So I know if I get my chest plate here, so you can kind of see where we're at, where we're getting to, where we're coming from. Okay, so if I have that there and then this there, you can see it's starting to form into a piece of armor. Okay, what I want to do though, before I get too carried away with all this bit, I want these the shoulder pad part to stand out. Because if you've ever seen like the movie Gladiator, or a documentary with the Roman soldiers in it, or Alexander the Great, any of those cool people, you will see that the shoulder protector parts are on top of the chest plate. So anything else that I'm going to do to the chest plate needs to be done before I join any of this together. So the best thing to do now is I'll just quickly give these a bit of a curve. Okay, and then that's going to go the other side. Voila, s'il vous plaît. Okay, so I've got 4 of my main components done. Okay, so what I want to do now is I've got these 2 parts here. Now, what I need to do with them is I chose them because of the shape, and it's going to add a bit of a texture to my suit of armor. So what I want to do is this bit is probably going to go on the front, and I need this flat piece because I'm going to do something decorative and put it on there with another piece of cardboard, and then this piece of cardboard is going to go on the back. Okay, so it's going to be like an armor plate on the back. Okay, and that's going to give me a little bit of extra protection. I mean, not like I'm going to use this in any great battle or anything like that, but you get what I mean. So what I need to do is, you can see this is like more of like a box. So this was for a toaster. The toaster sat in there, and then that's slotted on the top to protect the toaster. So I need to flatten it. I want to try and keep this shape as much as possible, but I want to flatten it so it's easily attachable to my piece. Now you can see already it's quite flexy, so it'll bend. That's not a problem, but I need it to be flat so it sits nicely on my suit. Okay, the easiest way to do that is to stand on it. Now what you could do if you had one at home, I mean, most of you guys should be more than heavy enough to do this, or you get a parent to do it at home. It's fun. Get little brother or sister, hey, come and stand on my homework, this will be fantastic. The other thing you could do is, if you've got a rubber mallet, give it the old rubber mallet treatment. So you can see now I've given it a good old squashing. Okay, now it does look a little bit munted, but that's okay, it's going to serve its purpose. And then what I want to do is, I just want to trim the outside a little bit. Just wanted to get that edge off. Now that's totally up to you, whether if you've got something like this. I mean, any one of these things that comes with an appliance will have something like this. It'll have a different shape. If you don't have something like this, what I recommend is you just use another layer of cardboard. You want to try and, you're going to have to do the same process again as molding it and all that kind of stuff, but you want it to be just slightly smaller than your chest plate, because you don't want them being the same size, otherwise it's going to make your chest plate really, really stiff and hard to move around in. Okay, so if you see, I've just trimmed the edge off that really loosely. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch that onto my chest plate there. So there's my chest plate, and then if it sits down like that, okay, and then it's going to have to go down about there, because I've got to take into account my shoulder pads, which are going to go there. Okay, and then I'm going to have something over the top of this, okay, going onto this nice flat piece. Okay, so it's starting to get there. We're starting to see a shape emerge. Okay, so if that makes sense. Now what I've got to decide is whether I like it that way or the other way. It probably looks cooler that way, I think, just personally. Okay, makes sense. Also depends on how I want to do my next part. Okay, so bear with me, we're getting there.